You know when you come across a song title or an album title or something of the like, and you just start mulling over the individuality of it, there's just something that fascinates you in this alluring manner. Erasure is that. And I'd say, at least on deeper inspection, its presence is fitting and quite compelling in expansion, but definitely isolated. But there's just something, again, I found charming about it. Much like I've said, the regards of other works thus far that I've consulted on Once Human's Scar Weaver album. Not only the title track, but as well in advance of that, Deadlock. Two tracks thus far in of the 4 I've planned to consult with you, and gaining an introduction to a group that I knew on promise I think I would like, and at least from what I attempted before with lead vocalist Lauren Hart, and part of some of her other credits with the Camelot collaborations. I'm part of both Phantom Divine, Shadow Empire, and Mindful Remedy, and I was quite elated at what I heard there in terms of being introduced to such a capable lead vocalist with a great presence and a control on clean and unclean. Once Human has taken more so the appearance of Unclean, which I greatly love. But it's funny, with 2 tracks in thus far. Again, this is all I've heard of Once Human. And I'm starting to see the expansion of creativity and how they explore their vision and their work. And apply it. It's fascinating because Scar Weaver was a particularly deviant work from my expectations, but still fulfilling in its creative isolation. Much like Erasure might be. Though, as I said, it fits well perhaps into the scope of the album, granted in such an individual manner. Erasure sounded to me like it had a bit of a contemporary feel, but upon deeper inspection, this is really funny to me. So I like to get in the heart of the artist and explore where there's been an inspiration provided to understand the vision to its best extent. And Erasure is not dealing with the concept of what maybe it rings a bell with that word these days, however we apply that, but in the political side, but it has like a historical politics type feel. Maybe, again, like I said, a cultural one in respect as well. Lauren Hart, in fact, provided that the song is about the concept of a blood diamond, which I had to go look up. Blood diamonds are conflict diamonds, which are, as I understand, pink diamonds. They're large ones as well from the Sierra Leone area back in the 90s. And there's quite a history, I'd say, in the populace there, in even just in the rebellious spirit of the album. I think they're a great attribution on a symbol, because the story of the Blood Diamond does mimic that type of feel. Now, I have not read the song in detail, because we're going to explore that together and see perhaps how that concept is made manifest, I'm sure, to such an exquisite reach. I just found that, again, like I said, Erasure, it kind of provokes your interest, but then upon deeper inspection of what is this song actually talking about, it deviates from my original interpretation, for sure. But it's creatively individual. I have not come across the story of the Blood Diamond before, so this is very much fresh. And I like an educational experience, especially as it pertains to music. I love exploring deeper and getting fresh perspectives on things that I, never knew about. Having a greater appreciation for the art that I dive so deeply into. I'd imagine some of you resonate with that. Again, I'm sure I'm not the only music connoisseur out there, especially in the metal scene. And with Once Human, I like the complexity and the depth I'm witnessing. Let's explore Erasure's creativity together for the first time. Okay, this utilizes Lauren's Unclean side with license to deviate. We'll see. I like its subdued feeling. That's different. But I still got that aggressive metal backdrop. Like I said, natural path. This is fleshing out the story succinctly. Again, if you're ready to the background, This is an excellent, eloquent parallel. Nice snare pattern. Those breaks, wonderful choice. She's so strong on that growl. There's a reprisal. Man, again, I love that break. And the key changes on that, and the little notes. Again, it's so intricate on the pattern. That's just that staccato change. Staccato would be kind of unfair. It's more of a legato path. They're just paced quickly. Adventurous application of storytelling. As I said, this is quite strong creatively. And they really know how to pick settings in terms of video production. Oh, so they're closing it on the softer note, okay. Nah. It's just... Good blend on both. This is dipping more into the melodic, but I like the hybrid. Good closure on that. Highly effective. Structuring, as always, on behalf of the tunes that they produce, just... It's excellent metal. The individual choices, though, that chorus section on the... that sticks in my mind. The rest of the song, in terms of the intro and the closure... Both of the sections work. I love that softer interlude, and you think it's going to dip more in the melodic. There's much more of a unclean emphasis for sure. That is more so mainstay, at least in presence of One Human. But there are points of deviation from the other works we've entertained thus far together that dip more into that melodic side, that show, again, variability on behalf of Lauren's vocals and the assets of the band. But you think, you're like, okay, it's a bit softer, a little, suppressed. But there's that room for potential for deviation, and then the instruments kick in. You're like, okay, now we're back to that metal root. Then the scream kicks in. That chorus though lingers on structuring for the line "all for blood, bones, power, lust," and the breaks. I love that. And on the, I think it's on lust. I'm quickening the pacing. Forgive me, but. How intricate that is in terms of translation and with the high degree of mobility. I love that end bit. it throttles the song in terms of its creative expression. I love it. And in terms of narrative, again, like I said, in terms of a prelude, maybe I should emphasize this better, but it is of your best interest, I think, if you're not familiar with the Blood Diamond narrative, to get a good scope on it. At least just even in preparation, just a summary. Because this song is an adventurous compliment, but is one that I believe is succinct on materializing the ideas and the nature of the history of the Blood Diamond. Incredibly articulate. Really interesting, though, and such good line work, too. A bullet's enough to keep their mouth shut, taking cut, facing the dark, carved up to serve the eye, and what alone separates a child from stone, one's dug up, the other's in the ground to die. I mean, it's so bleak of a narrative, but it's just so well told. It reminds me so much of poetry. I don't know. Again, I know there's that emphasis on the real-world inspiration, but I come from a writing background. I tend to prioritize time. Poetic expression is what I favor, and this has such a nice vibe of that in its writing structure. But an expression of narrative, that's really interesting. It's very different. I've not heard a song before, as I said, with the Blood Diamond concept. This is fresh in almost every way, other than 2 entrances in thus far with Once Human. I keep wanting to mix up their name. I did this in the last song too. I kept wanting to say Scarweaver. I'm like, no, that's the name of the song, not the band. But 3 tracks into my journey of 4 thus far, with, I'm sure, doors open as far as I'm concerned with the future for more to come. But I'll definitely peruse their older library and the expansion of the album beyond just the 4 tracks and listening to a view and entertainment. But I'm loving what I'm hearing, especially on Ambition and Drive. The familiar aspects to Once Human's capabilities are materializing in grand focus for sure, and they're well exercised. Lauren Hart, the band as well generally. But what I'm hearing with these pieces individually is just so invigorating. And Erasure is no different. And you just have that vibe when you start. You're like, okay, this sounds good, interesting, kind of specific, and then you look into what the song's actually about, and then you entertain the application of the idea, and you're like, this is an incredible work to take in scope, for sure. And its creative expression on the music side, as I said, those chorus sections just stick in. They nailed those. The mobility of those notes still just lingers. I don't think it'll ever leave me in terms of repeat listens. I'll give this song several, I'm sure. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on Erasure. Whatever angle you come from as well, from whether you're a long time, and I welcome the company in both respects, by the way, as much as I can emphasize it. Long time, Once Human fans, fresh oncomers, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this piece down below. For me, it's a never win. 3 out of 4. I'm sure I love the name of this. The next one. Again, Cold Arrival. Man. I'm sure our 4th track will be no different. I've had a great time thus far with Ocean. Here I go again. Why do I keep calling Ocean Human? Where's that coming from? I've had a great time with Once Human. I'm sure that will continue. Again, I knew being introduced to Lauren Hart before through Camelot, it would be a win for me, and thus far I've been incredibly impressed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.